Hey, welcome to Coaching with Tally. We are in a series all about increasing your peace. Have a special edition today for you about a tool that you can use immediately that will declutter a lot of what is going on in your mind. It's going to tune you in to more self-awareness, and it's going to give you more self-compassion. And there's literally not any way that you can do it wrong. So I'm going to be talking about that today, exactly what that is, how you can implement it immediately to increase your levels of peace. My name is Tally. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact in the world that are centered in a place of joy. So I'm all about getting you leaders dialed into who it is you most truly are, firing on all cylinders. We work really holistically, looking at every area of your life, and get you creating a life that you love living so that you can be in overflow in the world and make a difference for other people. So today, we are still in our series all about increasing your level of peace. I thought I'd bring you out here and give you some beauty, because that alone increases peace, right? And then also give you some coaching around the power of journaling. If it's something that you have not tried or you haven't done in a long time, I want to take some of the mystery out of it, cause it to be something that's really accessible for you, and just talk to you about some of the benefits of it. So journaling is such a gift. It's like having, in some ways, it's like having a counselor right where you are, wherever you are. It has been a tool that I've used for a lot of years, and in some of the most challenging seasons of my life, it has been one of the greatest gifts to me. So why don't people journal? Because there are a lot of people who are intimidated by journaling, or it just sounds like something that they don't want to do. So let's talk about some of those things. Sometimes people don't journal because they're like, I don't know what to write about. You know, like people journal and it's this thing that people do, but I don't know where I would start. I'm not a writer. I don't feel like I'm good at writing my thoughts. I'm afraid somebody else is going to read it. So those are some of the hindrances. If there are more that I haven't caught, feel free to type those in, and maybe I can address some of those too. So those are some of the ones that I know keep people from writing. Like, I'm not spiritual enough, I'm not deep enough, I'm not eloquent enough, I don't know where I would start or what I would write about. So those are some of the things. Let's talk about why none of those things matter, because none of those things are actually the reason for journaling. Journaling is a gift for you, and I'm gonna give you some really specific tips on how to overcome some of that, so you can jump right in. Something that I learned from somebody who's really wise, and it's helped me lean into journaling a lot, and I've gotten so many benefits from it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the benefits from journaling. So it is a place to really unclutter your mind. There are so many things, so many thoughts that we have. I wish I looked it up, because I've seen statistics on this. I just don't have it on the top of my head, but how many thoughts we have in a day, how many negative thoughts we have about ourselves in a day. Like, those are interesting things to look up. Maybe we'll put it in the comments or something. Super fascinating how much is going through our head on a daily basis, and how cluttered that makes our mind, our head space, it affects our emotions, our thinking. We just get to this place where there are so many things that are running in the background that it's hard to focus well on the things that we're trying to give our attention to. So if you can relate with that, give me a yep, that's me. Because of all of the technology that we have accessible to us, because of all the media and all of the places that media puts themselves, like, we are bombarded with so many influences, so many thoughts, so many stresses. And so journaling is a place to offload a lot of those things that are going on in our brain. So that's one thing. Just the decluttering in the mind space is huge. Another one, and it can be so many different things. You know, you've got like things you need to do, a stressful conversation you had, a decision that you have to make, stuff you don't want to forget at the grocery. If you think about a computer and its operating system, and you think about like what happens to your computer when you have a lot of tabs open, you have a lot of searches going, you have a lot of platforms running, it's like your computer is constantly spinning, right? Our brain is so much like that. And when we have all of these tabs open, It's yeah, that's me. That's awesome. 60,000 thoughts per day. Thank you. I knew Taylor would look it up and get it to you guys. Tay, you're amazing. Taylor's like my second brain. She's awesome. So decluttering the mind is a huge piece of it. And if you can, like, journaling really does kind of close out some of those tabs. Sometimes your brain, just knowing that you've captured that thought somewhere, that it's been written down, it like keeps this stressful place of like, you're going to forget this thing. Just having it written down really helps a lot. So that helps kind of close out some of those tabs in your operating system and keep you from having this loop that's constantly running. So that's one thing, the decluttering. Second thing is that it tunes you into a place of self-awareness that is really significant. Emotional intelligence is the starting place for everything really that you want to do well in life. If you're not tuned into yourself, and this is a lot like, journaling is a lot like tuning an instrument. Like, you wouldn't go out on stage and play an instrument or perform something or do anything really with an instrument without tuning it first. Journaling is that. It's the practice of tuning you into yourself. And so journaling really does a fabulous job of just increasing your own self-awareness, helping you notice things that you're feeling, things that you're thinking, what's going on with you, patterns that are there. That's another thing journaling can do, is surface patterns that are happening in your life where you're like, oh my gosh, I journaled about this like 3 times in the last 2 weeks. That must be really something worth looking at. You know, you'll just key yourself into a whole bunch of different things. I'm trying to read some of your comments. It's really bright out here, so it's kind of hard to tell. By the way, I'm at St. Augustine right now, taking my own advice and unplugging a little bit, getting away, focusing on family, so it's and just filling up. It's really sweet. So hopefully you guys feel like you can live vicariously through me and get a little ocean beauty. So decluttering your mind, self-awareness, and the third thing is self-compassion. If you can approach your journal with this place that you're just going to use it as a way to connect to you, you're going to use it as a way to be gentle and kind with yourself, and it's not a tool for self-beat up, it's not a tool for looking at everything that's wrong, it's a tool for you to connect with you and to be really gentle and kind with yourself. So I want you to start associating journaling with that, with self-compassion, looking for ways to understand and know yourself better. I have my journal with me. The reason I picked journaling today is because I got up at the sunrise and came down this morning and brought my journal, and I have a friend, Fidel Ford, who I bring on a lot of my retreats. He's our massage therapist and yoga instructor. And he's incredible. He was doing a live earlier today and just talking about what are your daily habits, because those daily habits are the things that really make a huge difference in your life. Those things you do on a consistent basis that become habits are what set you up for success. And journaling is one of those for me that has been such a gift. So I was down here this morning, brought my journal at sunrise. It was so sweet. And I just got to thinking, you know, journaling is such a gift when you can have the right frame of mind around it. And so all of those things I mentioned in the beginning that become hindrances that keep us from journaling, I want to address some of those. So a practice, a way of approaching your journal, there are a lot of different ways to use your journal. But a way that is a wonderful place to start, or I had been journaling for years when I heard this, and it transformed my journaling. And it's, I mentioned this resource a number of times, but it's been a really powerful one for me. The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. One of the tools that she has in her program, if you're going to do it's a book, but it's kind of more of a workbook. And it's an experience that you commit to basically for, I think, 12 weeks. I don't know. It's awesome. But one of the things, there are 2 practices that you commit to. One is morning pages, which is what I'm going to talk to you about. And the other is an artist date. And I mentioned that one in other Coaching with Tally lives. So let's talk about morning pages. What that is a practice that she implements where you get up just a little bit earlier. And if this is too much of a step for you, take it, you know, there are ways to modify this. But here's her prescription. To get up a little earlier in the morning and do 3 pages of writing. And one of the things that I loved about this is the permission that she gives to just, there is no right way to do this. It doesn't need to be spiritual. It doesn't need to be profound. It doesn't need to be deep. It doesn't need to, like, you don't have to have thoughts that connect with each other. It doesn't need to be anything impressive for somebody to read, 100 years from now, whatever. It doesn't need to be any of those things. What this is stream of consciousness. This is just writing nonstop for 3 pages. The idea is to start your pen writing. It does not matter what you say. She's like, I don't care if you write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write for 3 whole pages. She's like, I don't care. The point is to sit down with your journal, to do this, to get in the habit and the flow of just writing. I don't care if you write your grocery list. I don't care if you want to complain about your neighbor for 3 pages. It doesn't matter what the thoughts can be disjointed. It can be negative or positive. It can be deep or shallow. It does not matter what you write about. Just whatever comes to the surface of your brain, get it down on paper. It can be like, loved making breakfast yesterday. And one of the things that I do a lot of times is tune in, and I've said this to you guys for a lot of different things, but it really engages you in the present moment. It really engages you in yourself, is to engage your senses. Just notice the sounds that you're hearing. So the waves crashing on the beach, notice the sights that are there, notice the feelings that you have, like the sand between my toes this morning. I just will get in the moment for a second and just journal about that, what I'm enjoying, about what I'm engaging with in terms of my senses. So that's a way to do it. Another thing that you can do is turn it into a prayer. So that's often a way to not feel so alone in your journaling. If you're just kind of like, I'm just going to write a letter to God, and whatever your religious practice is, source of love, and just write a letter. And a lot of times, I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, but a lot of times I will turn it into a conversation, which is so powerful for me. I did this morning, where I was just like, Spirit, what do you want to say to me this morning? And sometimes it'll be, Father, what do you want to say to me this morning? Sometimes it'll be, source of love, great creator, like whoever it is I'm kind of connecting with. Sometimes it's Jesus. Sometimes it's like more of a feeling like a guide or a friend. And I'll just ask a question. So this morning was just the simple question, what do you want to say to me? And what I got back was so sweet, so encouraging. I think it was something like just a reminder that I'm always with you, whether it's the day or night of your life, seasons of your life that feel like the brightness of day or the darkness of night. Like I am the sun that rises over you, I am the moon that shines on you, I'm always with you. And you can just trust that I am always, always, always there. So it's just a reminder and really sweet. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then I went and danced on the beach and played in the waves. And it was just a great setup for the day. So that practice has been such a gift to me. I also use it to tune in for other people sometimes. I'll ask questions for other people. I usually do it before I have a client session. So that's awesome. And if doing this every day in the morning feels like, heck no, I can't do that, or it's way too much of a stretch, and it's going to keep you from doing it at all, let me give you a modification. Why don't you try something that is a once a week practice? Why don't you try something that is like maybe every Sunday? I have a client that does this. Every Sunday she sits down with her journal. She reflects on the high points of the last week. She reflects on the week coming up and the things that she wants to be tuned into, keyed into, that she's excited about, that she's kind of like, ooh, I'm kind of nervous about this. How can I set myself up for success with it? So if you don't journal at all and it's completely intimidating and you're just like checking out already on this, what I want to encourage you to do is modify it. So do maybe once a week or a couple times a week. Or just do a 1 page or a half a page, like whatever will get you started with this practice. But it is a life habit that most successful people use. If you look at the stats on people who journal, a lot of really successful people journal in some form. I also want to give you this. There is something neurologically really cool about actually writing pen to paper that unlocks some creative stuff. But I have a lot of clients and fellow entrepreneurs and stuff who love to type because they can just type so much faster than they can write. Woo! The waves are getting high. or I'm getting out in it, I don't know. But however it works for you. Like I have gel pens that are erasable, and I like to sketch in my journals and whatever. I think it's super fun to play with lettering, and that's fun for me. Or if you just want to type, get out something that has a password on it if you're worried about privacy. You know, just like start somewhere. Get yourself journaling. And again, there's no way that you can do it wrong. So just get started. Do something. Decide what it is you're going to commit to. Like, what are you inspired to do as a result of our time together here today? Commit to some action. Is it something you're going to implement into your morning routine? Something you're going to implement into your evening routine where you reflect on the day? Get yourself set up for the next day? Do you want to do both? I have clients that do morning and evening routine every day. Journaling as part of that. It's just super helpful. Or do you want to do a once a week thing? Decide when, how you're going to do it. You're going to have an actual journal. Like, I really like my leather one a lot, but you could just get like a notebook, or Julia Cameron recommends, at least when you get started, just doing it on plain paper and putting it into a manila envelope. And then at some point in the process, she has you read all of it and then burn it so that you're not worried about other people reading your morning pages. So, I mean, there are lots of different ways that you can do it, but decide when, where, how you're going to do it, like in terms of what tool are you going to use, and set an intention, like what it is you want to get out of it. Is it decluttering your mind? Is it greater self-awareness? Is it greater self-compassion? What do you want to get out of it? Or is it all of those things? And just commit to it. And then write it in the comments here. I would love to see what you guys create, come up with, determine for yourselves. And I would love to hear how it goes for you. So blessings, that's it. I'm sure this was more than 10 minutes, but we got on a roll. Hope you enjoyed the ocean a little bit. And I hope this inspires you to just take a step in moving forward in journaling in your life to create more peace. I can't see your comments very well, but I love you. I can see Henry's on here. Joellen, good to see you guys. Sending you so much love. Blessings, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow for another tip on increasing peace in your life.